And they were sent for you.
Niko high school already na niko form 3, like classmates wangu wote they have started experiencing na ni mimi nimebaki, so they're like, you know, Natalie, if you want to experience your menses, what you should do, you take a pad, put it on your panty, then it will pull the blood. So that's what I used to do, but it's never used to come until maybe the right time came.
Everything is at stake.
Everything is at stake.
Halo wadau.
Hi.
Yes, kama kawaida tuko at Stake Podcast na tuko hapa at the Bondo Youth Wellness Center. Na mimi kama kawaida mimi ni host wenu. Naitwa Otieno George. Mademu sana wananiita Georgie. So hiyo ni jina yenye kama nyinyi mademu hivi painting unaweza niita Georgie, msisahau hiyo. So tukianza podcast yetu ya leo, tutakuwa na podcast on menstrual hygiene. And ningetaka nijiintroduce, naseme tu ka sentence kamoja ya kujiintroduce, and then tutaanza the main thing nimetuweka hapa leo. Asanteni sana. Tuanzie hapa.
So hi, my name is Natalie. What I can say is menstruation is not a curse. It happens to almost every lady. So don't be ashamed when you experience it.
Hi, I'm Jemima. I'm a nurse. Na kukuwa na periods is normal. The only time you should get worried is when you have attained the age that you should be having your periods na hujaziona.
Hi guys, I'm Adele Kweli. I'm a Richard advocate. Menstruation is normal for young girls, and we should not be ashamed about it.
Asanteni sana for the introduction part. With your one statement, hiyo statement yako moja iweke, we'll be coming back to it. Kwa wenye wanatu watch, usisahau kusubscribe, usisahau kulike. Kuna link ama kuna QR code, you can scan that and have this podcast from YouTube. So leo tuko hapa on menstrual hygiene, and of course tuko na maswali kidogo that we want to discuss, and we want to also let other young people know something about menstrual hygiene. Sindio? So I don't know kama tunaweza anza na swali ya kwanza ama kuna mtu ako na kitu ya kusema before we just get direct to the first question.
Well, when you talked about when a girl should only be worried when she's attained the age and she's not started menstruating, like it's something alarming. You know, I was not aware because personally, I experienced my mates. They have already started their periods, and I had not like experienced them, and I was in form 3. I started being worried. I didn't know if it was like a medical problem or maybe I was just like different from others. Until now, later on, when I was in form 3, because I was like, you know, there is this misconception that if you don't experience your periods, you're barren or something. So I was worried, am I barren or am I normal? So what can you tell that young girl that has not had her periods when her mates have already experienced their periods?
Okay. And let me start from the point of barrenness. In medical terms, we talk about it as infertility.
Yeah.
And even the infertile ladies experience periods. Most of them experience periods. And your worry could be normal. And because we have different ages when people start their periods, we have those who experience periods early. The first period we are referring to as menarche. I believe we know that.
Yes.
So there are people who experience it as early as 8 years, and there are people who can experience it as late as 20 years. So in between there, provided you maybe sought medical attention, umeambiwa kila kitu iko sawa, then you just wait for your time. Then when it comes, automatically you start experiencing it.
Okay.
Yes.
So usually it happens a lot.
Like beyond the 20 years, that's when you should get worried, because you might be having other complications related to why you are not getting the periods. And that's why I've talked about it's necessary to seek medical attention when you feel that you've attained the age that you should be having your periods, lakini hauzioni. Yes.
Okay. So I think Ada, what about your experience? What have you experienced?
Wait. So, Mimi, my menses came when I think in Form 2 or something. But utapata, now wherever I grew up in, we had friends, and we'd visit each other, and then you go to their bedrooms and kuna pads, kuna tampons, and they look so cute. Yes, you're like, and you know nothing about it because nobody talked about it by the way kitambo. Like wewe ulikuwa juu, wewe ni mtoto kwanza, they'd say wewe ni mtoto toka nje kwanza, when my sisters are doing their things, and yeah, it was crazy. But
unashangaa hiyo time walikuwa nazita mkate. Zile za ubona huyu kuna mikate 10.
They were colorful, they were so colorful. Kama nakumbuka nini, always ilikuwa inatoa pads zinakaa vizuri.
But unaona
they were scentful.
Niko high school already na niko form 3, like classmates wangu wote they have started experiencing, na ni mimi nimebaki. So they're like, Natalie, if you want to experience your menses, what you should do, you take a pad, put it on your panty, then it will pull the blood. So that's what I used to do, but it's never used to come until the right time came. So you see, that's a misconception again, that when you put on a pad and you've not started your menses, it pulls the blood, which is a lie, obviously.
Okay, nice. So I think maybe I just have a question. If you could go back to your preteen, yes? Nile advice gani wewe ungejipea before your first menstruation? Ni advice gani wewe mwenyewe ungejipea?
Mimi ningejiambia everyone matures on their own time. People have different bodies, and it is natural. It is very natural. Inaweza kuja when you're 9 years, inaweza kuja when you're 13, inaweza kuja when you're 16. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with you.
Usikuwe na haraka na it doesn't mean that something is wrong.
Yeah.
So kila mtu anajipea time yake. Kuna mtu yake inaanza at 9, mwingine yake inaanza at 16. But bado yako utaona, si ndio?
Yeah.
Jemaima, wewe ni advice gani wewe ungejipea?
Advice ningejipea, Ada amesema yeye alikuwa naenda anapata the pads and all the menstrual products. So mimi, I grew up in a village where talking about menstruation was kind of seen, and I didn't know whom to talk to, and I couldn't talk to anybody about the menses. When my menses came, the menarche came when I was around 15 years. Ilikuja, then ikakuja ikapotea, and I couldn't share, and I had not come across any of the menstrual products. So you are there, you're like, what do I do? In fact, when I experienced the first one, nilijificha na sikuwa naenda shule because I was like, I felt like this is not something normal, na saizo I'm not close even to any other person as a first
You're like, damu inatoka huko chini.
Yes. Na umejificha, the only thing you want to do, you are at home, each and every time unaenda unajiosha, unaosha the panty unaeka hapo.
Na bado inakuja tu.
Ningejua before that it was normal, ningejiambia baby girl, relax. It is normal, talk about it, upate help.
Okay.
And I think that is something, maybe if any parent is watching this podcast, it is very important to talk to your girls
and expose them
about menstruation, because there are a lot of misconceptions hapa nje. Young people will give you information thinking they are helping, but it could either harm you or cause some damage. So wazazi wanafaa pull up their socks.
I hope wazazi watasikia hiyo. And of course tujaribu tuwaimize wa expose watoto wao kwa hii mambo ya menstrual hygiene, si ndio? To Natalie.
I'd tell my preteen self, don't worry, your time will come. Usi like jicompare na others. Watu wako na different times, watu wako na different bodies. So just be patient and wait. Plus it's not something you should be afraid of. When it comes, it will come. But I am happy my preteen had people that were aware. So time yenye nilikuwa naanza, I was not afraid because I was staying with my grandmother then. I was just like, shosh bana, mimi naumwa na cramps. She was like, oh finally, at least nilikuwa na mtu there for me, mwenye amenibaia pads, ameniambia just take rest.
Amekuencourage.
Yeah, this happens. Yeah.
Ukasikia venye alikwambia oh finally mimi nita feel like alikuwa naingoja yenye yeye alikuwa like ako zile za iko ni haijafika lakini when finally ilifika ako zile za hure imeingia si ndio?
So you are lucky.
I am
You're very lucky to have a grandma whom you could talk to about your periods. So imagine if I couldn't talk about my periods to my mother, then when I was in high school, I was staying with my grandmother. So when my periods now resumed like officially and regular, I was now in Form 1. Guys, I had to use rags. Yeah, I used rags until Form 3 when I was in class and I messed up. That's when I was introduced to pads by my guidance and counseling teacher. And she was like, do you know how to use it? Namuliza, what is this? Because I had never come across it. My grandma doesn't know anything about it. My mom doesn't know anything about it. So from there, that's when I get exposed into different menstruation products. So you guys, you are lucky.
Very.
So I would just love to ask,
Yes.
what was now your experience and what can you tell the parents who are watching this from your experience, how your parents were not aware and mpaka ikafika hiyo time yenye your guidance and counseling teacher was the one to introduce you to the parts. What is that thing that you can tell now the parents?
Yeah, just as I said, nikianza, it was something so abnormal to talk about growing up, and it meant that like you can't sit down with your mother, you can't sit down with your father to like express it. Alafu mimi nilikuwa msichana wa dadi. Sasa when it comes to period, how do I start talking about to my dad about daddy, damu inatoka huko chini? So it should be upon all the parents to just like make it a routine, because currently most of the girls experience the periods very early ages. So just start talking about, on top of what they're being taught shule, take it upon yourself as a parent to always inquire and talk about it with your kids, be it the boy child, be it the girl child, because even the boy child will have a girlfriend, the boy child will help a sister. So let's just make it so common as parents to talk about it so normally. Yes.
In addition to what Jemima has said, you remember she started her periods when she was 15.
Yes.
And then she went to high school and it went on for I don't know how many years until she's in Form 3.
Yeah.
Imagine the
How
things she was
months?
using.
How many
Yes.
months are those?
12 months plus another 12 plus another 12, you can imagine. And she was not using the right products. So imagine in the community, uko mashinani, there's a girl who's Jemima right now.
Yes.
You know, and I tell girls like our reproductive nini uko chini, our vaginas and whatever, it's very sensitive. So utapata huyo mtoto anajificha, obviously she's not cleaning up well. If she's cleaning up whatever she's using for menstruation, she's hiding them, so which means hazikauki pia vizuri, and that is where infections come in. So we need to create a lot of awareness.
kuna Jemima mwingine sahihi
Somewhere, yes.
Ndio.
Now it's the 21st century, but still people are not educated on the same.
True.
Yeah. Now we also mention about the period products. That is now the products that we use for during our periods. Yeah? So what are the myths or misconceptions you've heard about them? Nini mmesikia fununu gani ama vitu gani kuhusu hizi period products that we've been using? Yes.
I wouldn't call them myths or misconceptions, but I don't know where to put these. There are other kuna pads zenye they're like super scented, and a lot of people are in business right now, so kuna different pads. Kuna always, kuna my girl, kuna gani zingine
Molfed,
kuna Molfed, kuna soft care, kuna Cortex, you know, ziko mingi. So utapata sometimes you'd get irritations if you use some kind of pad. So we need to be very careful on the products we are buying. Make sure it's a good product, it is cotton based, na iko sawa.
But so just sometimes you don't even get to know that.
Yes.
Because there is this product I was using, I'll not like say its name, but it was working for me so well until it stopped working for me. Unapata imekuchoma, unashanga wa sasa hii, na hiyo ndo kitu like you've been using. Sasa like people are different. Mtu mwingine atatumia hiyo na they will be okay. But sasa for you it becomes different. So I feel you should like go with something that is comfortable with your body, because we have like sensitive parts. Yeah.
One of the myths I've interacted with as a lady and as a service provider is that some of the products zinapoteza the virginity of a lady, some zina cause infertility. And just to add to the story I was saying before, imagine there are parents, young parents in this century who are not well informed. Like there's somebody who is a parent na hakuenda shule. Acha hiyo the knowledge tu ya shule about menstruation hana, and the only thing they know is that if it worked for my grandmother, it worked for my mother, it worked for me, then it will work for my girl. I'm talking about maybe using the rags. It is being inherited from point A to B to C to this young girl that we are now talking about empowering now. And you will get that there's let me talk of a shosh in the village who is encouraging grandchild wake atumie the rags as the right menstrual product. So that is a myth, and we really still need to create a lot of awareness in the community. Deep in the heart of the community, there's still a lot to be done.
Na pia venye they say sanitary towels are expensive, you know, you can go for the option of reusable pads. They say there's a myth that the reusable pads are dirty or whatever, but if you use them well, you clean them well, you air dry them well, they are okay. Just make sure your hygiene is okay.
Also the myth and misconception about tampons, that they'll get lost in there. The worst that can happen is the string can go upwards, but our cervix are created in a way that they are small, so a tampon can't get lost in there. All you have to do is just pull it out. And they also say it takes away your virginity. You know it doesn't. So that's something people should avoid talking about, because I have used it before and it has worked perfectly for me. So the myths and misconceptions about tampons should stop, because it's all lies.
Na pia find something that works for you. Like mimi, tampons don't work for me. It is too uncomfortable for me, but it works. It is fine. So find whatever works for you. Kama ni pad, kama ni tampon, kama ni the cups, the menstrual cups, whatever works for you.
I really like the conversation. Now that you are highlighting some of the myths and the misconceptions, and you are also giving recommendations on something that somebody would do, and you're a better life yake. Of course, that is it. But then now let's talk about the so-called the period for poverty. When you talk about period poverty, that is now we are talking about the lack of access. Sindio? So lack of access to these supplies. We've talked about the products, but now accessing the products. Yes. Now, lack of access. How does that look like in a day-to-day life of someone or of adolescent mwenye bado ako pale chini, mwenye bado anahitaji sana? As you can see, even from our brandings, we can see that 65% of girls and women in Kenya cannot afford sanitary products. Now that is taking us back to lack of access. So what do you think about this lack of access?
George, let me pick it from the point tulisema from Jemima's first story. There is another Jemima currently as we are speaking, and this doesn't stop this Jemima in the community from having the menses, and this Jemima will have to miss school in the community until periods stop, and this will come month after month after month. This will push Jemima into going to get somebody who can support. When Jemima goes to get somebody who can support, this can turn into even teenage pregnancy, so that because atajiambia out of which is the term, imepotea kidogo, like instead of suffering month after month just to get my periods, let me just get this pregnancy so that I can rest for the 9 months, not knowing that after the ninth month, there's another responsibility amejieka for life. So yes, they just allowed HIV infection in the rise, teenage pregnancies, teenage mothers, and even GBV, SGBV, because there's nobody mwenye utaenda umwombe ati nisaidie, especially for the boys. They always want something. Most of them always want something in return. You see that? Yes.
I think period poverty looks like, to me, missing 3 to 5 days of school days because you're just experiencing menses. You miss a lot of opportunities in those days. Others will obviously continue to learn, but you'll have to stop. And when you come back to school, you ask, why Natalie, why did you miss school? You have to come up with a lie. So people see that the better thing is lying instead of just admitting to the truth. I was having my menses, which is very normal. And then also you reach a point where you have to choose between food or buying pads. That is something that becomes sad. You're like, I cannot go on an empty stomach. I would free bleed because maybe I have light periods, it goes for 1 or 2 days, so I'll just free bleed, which is unhygienic. Or you opt to use the rags or mattress, tissues, or even leaves, which is bad for yourself.
Which also means not knowing the right materials to use.
Of course, I just wanted to mention that you've talked about these young people or young girls who are now like open to speak about this. And maybe from our data and from our surveys, we've only realized, even from our brandings, that is only 50% of girls in Kenya can openly talk about their menstruation. And that is be it in schools, be it at home, or be it anywhere. They can, some of them, or let me say most of them, cannot openly talk about this menstruation, sindio? And of course when you may highlight, turudisha pale kwa the period poverty, because as much as you can't speak up, as much as you can't ambia mwalimu that nilikuwa nyumbani because sikuwa na sanitary towels na hiyo ndio niliweka nyumbani, and again kuna kitu tunajaribu kuna kitu bado hatujazi hapa, si ndio? Yes, Ada,
guys, nitasahau.
Yes. Usisahau point bado ziko. Tuambie.
Nitasahau, it also means not having the confidence like you have mentioned.
Yes.
Umeanza kunyesha, you want to go to the shop. You want to go buy pads. You don't know how to go and tell that shopkeeper nataka hina
he's a man,
you know, and he's a man. You gather the confidence, and then you're there, and the way they wrap that pad.
We want to now talk about the bigger picture. About now this last question is about the stigma, and that is the stigma surrounding menstruation. So what do you think about the stigma? And I think as we also talk about the stigma, let's also talk about the male involvement when it comes to menstrual hygiene. So what say do you have about that?
I think the men, or rather when they're still boys, when girls are educated about menstruation, everything about periods, they should also be part of that. It should not be like a female thing. It should also be a male thing, so that in future or when they're still young, they see girls being given pads. They're not like, oh, amepewa mkate. Or if a girl messes her cloth, they're like, oh, na huyu imepita. It's something it should be normal. They're like, oh, Natalie, you've messed. so you go to the bathroom and clean yourself up. So sawa wanakuona and they start laughing, like they should get the education about menstruation so that even when they grow older, they know how to handle their wives, they know how to handle their girlfriends. But I am happy that nowadays boys are a little bit educated, because I was once seeing someone and I started my menses when I was at his place, and I was like, obviously you don't have a pad at your place. It's like, that's something I can go and buy. I was like, oh, unaweza enda chemist now you ask for it. It's like, this is not something you should be ashamed of. Hii ni kitu normal and it's the 21st century. Because I remember when I started my menses back then, when I was in Form 3, my grandfather bought me the pads. My grandmother was like, you come with pads in the evening. Obviously I was the only one menstruating at that time, but he didn't find it awkward. He just brought the pads because he has learned about it. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Jemima, something you want to say?
When we talk about stigma, it rotates around. Even the empowered are still stigmatizing ladies for having their menses. I'm referring to there's a time something trended. Was it in the parliament where a lady, one of the MPs who went there to advocate for menstrual hygiene, went in soaked, or rather in blood? Alikuwa kicked out. Ama what happened?
The senator, the nani, ule mama.
Yes. She was somehow kicked out because mbona unakuja kwa parliament when you know very well that your clothes are soiled. It will be as simple as, no, this has happened, please go there, change and come back. And another thing is, like, if I was to be here right now, then my period starts. Like, it's very abnormal, or I was in my pads, then it gets soaked when I'm with you here. Can I comfortably tell you, George, bana period zangu zimepita, ni excuse niende ni change, utanipea macho gani? You see it? Which kind of eyes are you going to give me? Or even at our working places or even in the classrooms, can I just tell somebody that, teacher, this is happening to me, allow me go out? Automatically, there's still a lot of stigma surrounding that. And I think continuous empowering and creating awareness around menstrual hygiene will obviously bridge the gap so that all of us, we don't feel anything so awkward about talking the menstrual, the menstruation and the menstrual cycle and entirely its hygiene.
Yes, I think tutamalizia kwa Hada. I know you have something to say.
I'm listening to Jemima and Natalie. I'm imagining, like, how we are respectful when we talk about menstruation and being kind when someone is on their periods and they're like, do you have a pad? Can you help me with one? And I like how women, they do it so naturally. Like, you'd meet a stranger maybe in a club or just randomly, and you'd be like, do you have a pad? And they just give you a pad. They wouldn't even ask. Like, I love that about people right now. It reminds me, there's a school we've been dealing with. The first time we went, we'd talk about periods and the boys would laugh. They'd be like, yo, what are you guys talking about? And then the following month we went again, the third month, the fourth. And as we speak, when we are done about hygiene and menstrual health, we ask the boys to help us give pads to the girls. And they do it. Some would be shy, but come again and they'll be like, I want to give to Nani, you know. So it's baby steps, but it's working.
We'll get there.
And I believe we should also encourage teachers to also incorporate boys or men. When it comes to, like, for example, when we go and conduct these sessions in schools, I think it's also important to invite also the boys to also be part of the activity. As much as wao watatoka bila pads, but at least it's also important.
They got to know. They'll be like, mbona mnapea girls pad na sisi to pay anything, you know? So you'd be like, it's like you're meeting someone, mmoja ni kipofu mwingine anaona, but you only have one stick. Who are you going to give the stick to?
The blind.
To the blind person, sindio? So they get it right now, so they don't complain about it. Girls wanapewa pads, it's because they need it. Yes.
Now maybe for the boys who still doesn't know or doesn't have anything about anything to know about menstrual hygiene and even the pads, utapata like mmeenda mkapeana in school, alafu wanarudi nayo class, alafu boys bado wanaiba. Yeye anataka kwenda kujua ni kitu mademu anapewa na sisi tupewe, tuko class moja, si ndio? So to all the men, yes,
kwa shule zinaitwa mkate. So a boy will innocently take a pad from mkate aenda kunywa nayo chai nyumbani
just to
apate iko different.
Just some cotton.
I also think we should stop like using like coded words like it's that time of the month. Just say I'm having my menses, because it's something normal. Because when we continue hiding it, the boys will also take it as an awkward way. But when you're proud and you say it boldly, no one will stop you. And if today I was elected as the president, I think I'd take like 3 to 5 days and ask ladies just to be off on that day, because it's really hectic.
Hello.
And a question to you, host. If you had a girl today at your place and she started her menses and obviously you don't have pads at your place, she can't go out because she's soaked, what would you do?
I think the question anipata tu kama hadi mimi mwenyewe niko kwa situation right now. My girlfriend is back then in the house. And right now alianza kunyesha jana. Alianza kunyesha jana and of course mtu kama mimi, I believe that I need to support my girl. And I think that is one thing that I would want to say before tumalize, that let's support our girls. Pad ni expensive. Tusimruhusu ama tusimweke kwa ile situation ya acha nishike ball so that ni relax for this period thing. Wacha tuwa support. Kama uko na 70 yako ya pads, umeenda mjengo, nunua pad uweke, because unajua kitu uko nayo kwa plan that every month anafaa kuwa ananyesha. So kama unaweka stock yako ya chakula, stock ya pads pia ikuwekwa
na chocolate
kwa budget.
Na flowers, some cuddles.
So nimekujibu, si ndio? Asanteni sana.
Oh, this is amazing.
Yeah, and remember this is at Stake Podcast. To all the men out there, tukumbuke kusupport our girls. And not only our girlfriends, but even the girls who are also around us. Yeah, to support na tuwasaidie to get access to these pads. And of course, let's not forget about the Youth Wellness Center, where we also have access to these pads. Like today, we are also going to distribute them, but then we also be distributing at least even around even 10 or something, like almost every Sunday. So just walk into the Youth Wellness Center and get access to pads. Sawa, so that tuweke hii mambo ikue open, tuongee hii mambo ya menstrual hygiene na kila mtu akue anaweza pia kupata access to the menstrual hygiene, to the pads. Asanteni sana. Until next time.
Tukumbuke any painful menstruation is not normal. So seek medication provided you suspect or you always experience any type of cramps.
Extreme cramp, yeah.
Asanteni sana. Mpaka next time at Stake Podcast.
Everything is at stake.